It's called Greater Plantain. Now in olden years, when the English people went over to America to invade the Native Americans' country, they walked through plantain. There was a lot more. It's usually on compact ground. And what happened, the seeds of this came off onto the trousers, onto the clothes. And in those days you couldn't wash, you didn't have the luxury to wash your clothes as much as people do these days. And so they wore the same trousers on the voyage. They got into the land and the seeds fell off the clothes. And the Native Americans called this white man's foot, because wherever the white man stood, so did these grow. The useful thing about this is actually it has quite a lot to do with travelling. This is quite a thick succulent. This is not a good example. It's been ratted, it's been eaten, trodden on. But it's a succulent leaf. And if you ever see healthy leaves of plantain and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you've got blisters on your feet, believe me, I've done this myself, it works. Pad your foot up with these leaves. I was in a hurricane out in the middle of nowhere. My feet was getting wet and they were sore, and I still had another 10 miles to walk. So you pad your shoe up with these and it makes life a lot easier. By the time I got home, the blister was starting to go. That's how good it is. We've seen this garden before, but I'll briefly go through it. I let these dandelions here grow, and here, when they grow, pick them this small. They are really nice to put in salads again. Slightly bitter, but you chop them up fine with the lettuce. They're really appetizing. I didn't like them at first, but I do like them now. The only time I would suggest you don't, and I cannot remember the medical word for it, I think it's cystitis. If you've got a condition which makes you wee a lot, then these are not good, because they are a diuretic. But cleaning out toxins in your body, they are amazing. Here is a cultivated marjoram, and over here you'll see a wild marjoram, and these are good for gatekeepers and meadow browns, speckled wood, especially with the wild marjoram in shaded areas, the speckled wood and the greenlet. Also very good for many bees. And the ones over here go to the oregano. Funny enough, insects don't go for that so much, so, but it is very tasty, so we actually use that in our garden. I think this is fat hen. I tend to get the arachis confused. If it is fat hen, then that's another wild edible plant. However, it's not hurting, it's not blocking our courgettes, so it's cool, leave it there. Now sow thistles, if you get the, now what is it called, smooth sow thistle, I believe it's the stems that you eat. If you're into wild food, check it out, but I believe it's the stems that you eat as the sow thistle, and of course with poppies you can eat the poppy seed. Walking along, you've got chives here. Again, this is good for us, of course. Nice in egg salad, etc. Sanji's fennel, I've got some fennel too, and chives. Fennel's great in beetroot salad. You eat the leaves of this type, it's perennial. Delicious in salad. Also, you can put it in soups. Slightly aniseed flavour, so just imagine what would go with aniseed, basically. I'm walking along because you've seen a lot of this area, more comfrey. You've seen the aster. Now then, that's going to be variegated yellow archangel. They're good for bees. Somewhere around here, and she's got some white dead nettle, which is really good. Quickly moving on again. Hen that's broody. She's being put in the pen. More borish growing around here. Now these lettuces, you see they're actually starting to blow. Started to flower very soon. This is a good deterrent in the moment. I'm needing to keep this ground to grow broad beans in this area. So it's good to let them grow, get the slugs on that instead of on the purple sprouting. And also I've got black Tuscany growing. Parsley down here, this is flat parsley. I think I prefer curly parsley for flavour, and another coriander. St. John's wort is a really good old herbal plant. Now, it is good. I can't for the moment remember what it's for. I think it's for depression. But if ever you take this, as a hoverfly look that likes it, if ever you take this, don't take it if you're pregnant. That's the only time I would suggest you don't take this. It's extremely dangerous. It can create miscarriages if you're pregnant. But other than that, you know, it's always handy to know your herbal plants, and good to get a book really to always see how these can be used. Dandelion again, which I allowed to keep growing. Got speedwell growing here, red lettuces, and got my beans there. I told you about the meadow sweet previously. Here, as you see, we're starting to let it grow. We've got a little stream going here. More mallow. Now here is a cultivar. I think it's probably a cross French geranium. Cranesbill, that's the English name. Most cranesbills are really good. I find Herb Robert, meadow cranesbill, dusky cranesbill, all the native cranesbills are actually better for insects than cultivars. We have lots of nettle here. You can see it's been eaten. Here saves our crop being eaten. We've got the willow again. I haven't been able to find any dead white nettle. If you guys know it, it's really good. I've got to study this plant a little bit more. It's a dotted loose stripe. If I remember rightly, it's good in early spring for bees. Herb Robert. Now most stumble firs are very, very good for insects, mainly for hoverflies. And here we go again. It's a hogweed. I believe there is something you can eat of hogweed in the early months, but if you get it on the later months, I believe it was a strong laxative. I've never tried this to eat. Here we go. We're near coming to the end of our journey now. Got some brambles here that needs to be sorted. Goosegrass, incidentally, you can eat goosegrass. Got here, this geezer here is a herbinet. You can eat the root of herbinet. Wild strawberry down there for soda. You see, guys, all these things you can eat. Meadowsweet, the leaves there, is medicinal. And earlier on I showed you the mill. I don't know if we'd be able to get hoed. Couldn't.